All the sugar and paper you could possibly require can be yours as a result of this really great, completely automated sugarcane farm. It is brilliant. I'm about to show you how to make it. You are going to love it. I absolutely promise you. Do not go anywhere. There is a challenge in this video. Will you be able to meet this challenge? I don't know. You better watch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, and welcome to another farm tutorial with me, Avomance. This time we're doing a sugarcane farm. This is a really nice one. I like it a very lot. It's fairly resource friendly, so it makes it survival friendly. You need a little bit of iron, you need a little bit of various bits and pieces, but it's not too bad. You should be able to do it fairly simply. So I'm going to go on how you make this in a completely automated way, and it will use the rising and the setting of the sun to do its dirty work, so you don't even have to pull any levers. But there is a challenge attached to this video. At the end of this video, something is not going to be correct. I want you to tell me in the comments what went wrong in the video. It could be at any point in the video, it could be any time. So what is it that I did that means that this doesn't work using the sun and the moon as its trigger? It does, however, work if you use a lever, and I'll show you that. So don't worry if you can't think of the reason why it don't work, because a lever works absolutely beautifully. But a little bit of a challenge, no prize, but in the comments below I would like to know what it went wrong with this tutorial. A little bit of a competition. I do quite like this. I did something very similar in the mob farm as well, and I hope you enjoyed that one. Let me know if you like these little competitions, or if you just like me to do it straight as well. That's entirely up to you, but I think they're really quite fun. If you enjoy this video, please make sure you hit that like button full on the nose for me. It'll be great to know that you're enjoying them. Also, make sure you join the sub club. Hit that subscribe button. It would be really wonderful to have you listening to me on a regular basis, leaving me comments, because that is what makes this channel better. It's you guys out there making the stuff actually work. So let's get on with this one. First thing we're going to do is build the underneath bit, the bit under the ground, and this is the shape that you're going to need. And I recommend you pause the video here and actually get this set up before you go. But we have got this kind of long thin bit along the top right, which is 10 across and 2 down, and then you've got kind of the shorter, slightly fatter bit down on the left bottom, which is 3 down and 6 across, and then you've kind of got it connected with a little corridor in the middle. So get yourself set up there. The blue section is 2 deep and the orange section is 1 deep, and that is how you're going to need to do it. So give it a pause and I'll see you in the next section. First things first, I want to set up my item elevator, and you can see this section here where the section on the left meets the section on the right. We've got a yellow square. That is the square that your item elevator is going to live. So we're going to get a dropper. It could be a dispenser, but I think a dropper is best. Stick a dropper there, and then in crouch, stick another dropper on top. So it's just too high, not high at all. And then come along on top of the dropper, and poking out of it in this direction, we're going to put a comparator. And the reason we're using that comparator is because it will detect when something moves into that bottom dropper. What we don't want is this item elevator going on and on and on all the time, even when there's stuff not going into it, because it will be noisy as hell and nobody is going to have any time for that. Okay, so it's probably only going to have a very small signal when these guys are going to go into the bottom dropper, so we can't extend redstone too far. We need to strengthen it, so let's get a repeater right there, and then a piece of redstone, and then coming out of that redstone we're going to make a single tick clock, just a 1 tick clock. And the way we do that, or the most simple way we do that, is to get a comparator, loop the redstone back round on itself, and then put it into subtract mode, just like that. So what happens is when a signal comes in as a result of something going into that bottom hopper, that comparator will suck it out, the repeater will strengthen it, and that will shoot it into this comparator, and it will start up a cycle. That means we get a single tick clock going, a single tick pulse repeatedly, very fast, coming out of this comparator here, for as long as there is a signal going there. But we want to feed off that signal, so let's get ourselves a nice redstone line like that, going into that block at the bottom. It doesn't matter if it's under that block, but it's going into that block at the bottom, and then we need to feed that signal out through that block and into the redstone repeater to give it some power, because if it doesn't get powered, it's not going to shoot the products and whatever it is going to go into it up into this little dropper here, and we want that to happen very much so as the items go up the elevator. Then we've got to have something that's actually going to feed these droppers, so we need to get ourselves hoppers, and using shift again we're going to stick a hopper in that one, and a hopper in that one, and a hopper in that one, and then we're just going to 2 more hoppers going that way and that way, so a total of 5 hoppers altogether, which is great. Then we're going to get powered rails, and this is what is going to do our collection of the product, because we're going to use a minecart with a hopper in it. So we're going to stick a powered rail on there, and then we need to crouch and stick a powered rail onto that hopper there, and that will be the point at which the hopper sucks out what the Minecraft with hopper has collected. Then we go all the way along here, a total of 9 places, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the reason we've made it 9 is because that is how far a redstone torch will power this particular section. So we put a redstone torch there, and then we get ourselves a sandstone block, which is the same as the floor. That's the only reason I've chosen sandstone, and we stick sandstone block right there, and bang, all of a sudden our system has got power from one end to the other. And I'll show you here, if we were to put another piece of powered rail here, it won't have any power, so that's no good. So that's why we've got 9 pieces. And then all we need to do here is get ourselves a minecart with a hopper, stick it on the first section at either end, bang it on, and away it goes, and that will go backwards and forwards forever and ever and ever. So very simple. Last thing on this particular section is get ourselves a chest, because this has got to feed something up. It's got to feed this chest. So again, put into crouch, make a large chest just so as there's more space, and that is that section finished off beautifully. And we're going to test it by putting 64 little blocks into one of these hoppers. So let's get 64 blocks. We're going to come down here, get our 64 blocks, and we're just going to feed those in, and you'll see they're starting to go already. We've got the clock is going. You can see it's pulsing very nicely as the product is shot into that bottom hopper. That bottom hopper is shooting stuff into the top hopper, and the top hopper is shooting everything into the chest. So we'll watch whilst this goes, and it will continue for a very short while. It's quite a fast item elevator really for 64 items. And once that's done, it will stop flashing. There you go, it stopped flashing, and now we know there's nothing left in that bottom hopper, there's nothing left in that dropper, and bang, all 64 are in the chest. So that's worked beautifully. So the next section really is fairly simple. What we're going to do is we're going to stick a row of grass over the top of the rail. So we're going to come backwards all 9 sections, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So that's covered up really nicely, and that is going to be the area upon which we collect the bits and pieces. Now here we want to take out a whole row of blocks in exactly the same width and fill that up with grass as well. You could also fill this up with sand if you wish to, but I'm doing grass simply because it's easy. Then do another row out the back and fill that up with water, just like that. Then we need to get ourselves some stone, whichever stone you want. I'm just going to use sandstone simply because it's in keeping with everything else I've done, and put a row of sandstone all the way along like that, and then cover the water up. Then we're going to get pistons, and it's just a standard piston, not a sticky piston, and we're going to stick a piston facing this direction all the way along, and exactly the same, so there is a double row of those pistons all the way along. Then we're going to come around the back, and we're going to stick another row of blocks along like this, and a row on top of it. Then we need 2 more blocks like this, and that is great. We're going to stick a repeater going into each of these blocks. That will power that, and then obviously we need something to power those repeaters, so we need redstone all the way along the back of the repeaters. Run the redstone off in that direction, just a couple. We might change that in a minute, but so as we know which way we're going. And then here we're going to get a redstone torch on the back of each of these, and you'll notice as I go along that that has powered the bottom pistons, but we want to power the top pistons as well. So let's just get a block on the back, and that will power all of the top pistons, because that torch under there is pushing power into that block, which the piston can see, and it therefore turns on. Now the way that we can stop those pistons being turned on is to give signal to all of these comparators, but if we go along that way it's going to lose some signal, so we need to stick another repeater in there, and then we can get a bit of redstone. Let's just, for the sake of argument, stick a redstone torch on it. All of these pistons hopefully should retract, and there you go, all the pistons have retracted. If I remove that signal, all the pistons go back out again. So I'm just going to retract those for the moment, but we're not going to use a redstone torch to keep it retracted. We're going to use something else. But right now what I want to do is plant up my sugarcane. So stick a sugarcane in each of these, and because of the water being next to it underneath this block, that will grow really, really nicely. All that remains now is to cover up these bits so as we've got nothing visible. We don't need to get into that at all anymore. There's nothing to break, there's nothing to go wrong. Stick another bit there. We can also do exactly the same here. Cover these bits up. So that works really, really nicely. So we've got our system that's going to collect everything. We've got the pistons and we've got the redstone. Now we just need to make it look a little bit nicer. Now I do like to be able to see when this sugarcane has been grown to full size, so I'm going to use glass, a row of 3 glass along the side and along this front. Now you have to encase this, because what will happen if you don't is that sugarcane will get pushed by the pistons off of that grassy area, and it won't be collected by that minecart with hopper at all, and you'll end up losing it. So you've got to encase it. So I think, why not encase it in something that looks really quite nice? And we want to make sure, let's get a complete coverage. So that is a complete glass cage that is going to absolutely thrive in. That sugarcane, it's going to work really, really well. Now we want this to look a little bit nice too. Look at this horrible stuff at the back. We don't want to see that redstone. So we need to think, okay, well let's get ourselves a nice kind of housing, something that looks really appropriate and really good looking around it. Now the source of the power is going to be where I've got this redstone section here. So that is going to be, has to be visible. So we're going to come out and we're going to create a wall that is going to be around about this sort of level. So if we stick that there, and then we come all the way around here and go from one diagonal, 2 diagonals like that, and then inside of that we can stick ourselves a little bit of cobble, and we're going to bring cobble all the way along, and then we're going to come back to meet the edge of that glass on that side. We're not going to meet the edge of the glass on that side because it's doing something entirely different. And we are, however, going to come and meet the edge of the glass there like that. We might do something at the front here, we might not. I've not quite decided yet, but what we are going to do is we're going to come and get this 5 high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. And we come this side, make this 5 high as well. 2, 3, 4, 5 high. And then we're going to get some stone brick. Now I like stone brick because it just contrasts really nicely with the cobblestone. So we're going to do a row of stone brick all the way around. This is not going to have any negative effect whatsoever on any of this redstone. We're going to lap over that redstone and come all the way along and to that area there. And so we do something with that particular chest in a moment. Then we're going to get ourselves stone stepped bricks, and we're going to get that the right way up all the way along. And the reason we're going to do this is just to give it a little bit of texture, because at the moment it looks a little bit flat, I guess is the best way to describe it. It looks very flat. Leave the corners out, so we'll do something else with that in a minute. And I just want to have a little bit of shape and a little bit of texture, because I think if it doesn't, what's the point in building something unless it looks nice, right? So then we get some chiseled stone, stick the chiseled stone in the corner there, chiseled stone in the corner there, and then more stone brick on top of the chiseled stone. And then we're going to have just one more stone brick along the width here, so that stops there. More stone brick along the width here, and the same along this bit here. This bit we're going to double up with stone brick anyway, and then we can start to make ourselves, oh, I've noticed, look, we're one shy over here. Needs to go one taller there, and then come along to create a strut out of wood, which looks really good against the stone. I love the way the wood looks against stone. Come along there, exactly the same height there, this can come right over the top of this glass, and then finish that off by coming across. And then we're going to get a little bit more of the stone bricks, but I want cobble. I don't want to waste that row of cobble yet because I still want to have that attractive cobble look. So I'm going to get some cobblestone stairs, and I'm going to wrap the cobblestone stairs around the inside of these wooden posts. I'm going to put one there, leave the gap, come along this way, and then that's going to go in like that. So we've got a really nice shape starting to develop now. And we're going to get our spruce wood stairs, and we're just going to create ourselves kind of a nice roof. We're not going to make this into a big kind of gable end. That's not what we're after right now. Oh look, I've got a stair around the wrong way there. A big gable end on this would look just really strange, but we are going to just give it a little bit of a roof because it's just going to make it look a little bit more authentic, especially if you're doing this in a rustic setting. So get some upside down steps there, and then get some spruce wood planks, run that across the entirety of that inside there, and on this side as well. And then we'll get some slabs, and we're just going to raise it up one high, so just there like that. And we'll run that along the entire width, and we're basically going to cover up the roof now with a stone slab at that height. So I'll be back when I finish that. So we finished off the design bit of the build. We've not quite finished the redstone yet, but you can see we've got a really quite nice roof. It's ever so slightly sloped, and then it goes nice and flat. Inside I've stuck some glowstone. That's completely up to you. You don't have to. I just thought it looked really quite nice having glowstone behind some black stained glass panes. That makes it look really quite classy. We've put steps all the way around the outside just to edge off that bottom to make it look just a little bit nicer. And now we've got to finish this section here, and the easiest way for us to control that is using a daylight sensor. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use a daylight sensor to replace this torch, and we stick a daylight sensor on, and whenever it's daylight, that sensor is going to push a redstone signal through into that repeater, which is just going to make sure that we've got no signal going to these pistons here. But when it's night time, the pistons will know that it's night time because the daylight sensor will go, oi, there's no light. And those pistons will then action every single day to make sure that that cane gets collected properly. So we've now got a full crop. Look, it's a full crop of sugarcane right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to come along, and we need to make sure that this daylight sensor doesn't know that it's daytime anymore by changing it to nighttime. Very simple. Now, this is the interesting part that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I'm going to change it to night, and it isn't going to work. And there's a really simple reason as to why it's not going to work. And I want you to tell me in the comments below why you think it doesn't work. So let me show you. So we go time, set, night. Set the time to night. That daylight sensor now isn't picking up any daylight. But why is it not working? I wonder why it's not working. In the comments below, there is no prize other than the glory of being correct, but I'd like to know first person who is going to tell me exactly why that doesn't work. People that don't know, don't worry, you've not just followed a farm tutorial for absolutely no reason. One, someone will come along with the right answer in about 14 seconds, and two, just get rid of that. And all of a sudden, your crops are cropping, and you can replace that with a lever. Isn't that simple? So just get yourself a lever. That'll bring back the pistons so you can do it. It just becomes a manual system, but there is a reason why that didn't work. So I want to know in the comments below, why didn't it work? And I'm looking forward to seeing what your ideas are. And that's all done. I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm enjoying doing this series. It is a great series, great fun, really good interaction from you guys. I couldn't be happier. If there are any farms that you really fancy me doing for you, anything that you're not sure of, or anything you'd like to see how I would do it, just put it in the comments below. Let me know what farms you'd really enjoy seeing, and I'll just get on with it. It'll be great. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you smack that like button square on the nose. It's very important that I see you doing that, otherwise I won't know that you've enjoyed the video. And if you did enjoy it enough, make sure you hit the sub button as well. It'll be great to see you in the sub club, and I'll really look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.